Alright, well this is the car that T-boned me at that intersection. You can see the hood got stoved in. That was just about it. A little bit of scrapes over here, but that's it. I mean, friggin' lucky guy. Wish I could have been him. Airbags didn't even go off. You know? Jeez. So apparently it's been brought to my attention that in the last video I didn't really tell what happened. I got like 30 comments saying what happened to your truck. And then I watched the video and I was like, I never really told them what happened. I like the people that actually like tried to figure out what happened. Here, hold on, let me just get to the thing here. Fazone 1029 said, I'm gonna say you slid and either hit a tree or rolled that thing. So I'm thinking that you might have a career there in you know, crime scene investigation or like putting accidents together, you know, but kudos. So yeah, I guess I'll let you know what happened. So last Friday night, my friend asked me to come up to his house, and so I went up there, you know, to hang out, and I ended up helping him clean out his garage. And then about 10 o'clock, 9 something, he was like, oh, you want to go down to McDonald's? And I was like, alright, you know, and I was like, I offered to drive. And so it was one of these like really cold nights out. So we went down to McDonald's, got some food, and we started to head back up to his house. And I'm driving down this road. It's kind of like, it's the same road I lost my wheel on. It was like you could see where I lost my wheel from where I had this accident. So I'm never going to drive down that road again. But anyways, the speed limit was 50 miles an hour and it wasn't that bad. There were some spots where there were drifts across the road, and this spot was one of them. So I was doing 50 miles an hour, and you know, I'm going to take you out in the field and kind of give you a demonstration, because you'll get it. Alright, so we're going to pretend this here is the stretcher row, and I know they don't match. But anyways, here's like where I lost my tire, and this Redford is going to be playing my truck right here. This white Baby Ruth car here is going to be playing the Buick, which is sitting right here. This is a driveway, by the way. This black Dodge Power Wagon is going to play the Suburban, which was sitting here, which the Suburban had a plow on the front of it and a salter on the back of it. We're going to pull it out like here. You know, this isn't exact because, you know, I can't get exact, but there was also a tree right here, well, like right in here somewhere. And it had a plow on the front of it, and that was down. And that was just like a Buick sitting there. So anyways, I'm driving down the road cruising at like 50, and this road doesn't curve, but that road there's a little bit of a curve to it. And my buddy decides, he asked me a question, I don't even remember what the question was. It was nothing important. And I didn't answer him because I didn't feel the need to answer him. And so in return, he reached over, grabbed my steering wheel, and held it in one place. Didn't jerk it or anything, just held it in one place. So I started to go off the road here into the cabbage a little, and it's a little bit more snowy on the side of the road. And then he let go of the wheel, and when I pulled back onto the road, the back end slid out because I had it in two-wheel drive. So then I corrected, and it was so icy out, went completely sideways this way, brought it back all the way around, slid into this guy's driveway, smashed into his Suburban, spun around, and smashed into his other car, and I ended up like that. And I like just missed this tree, which probably would have been a lot worse if I'd hit this tree, because the tree doesn't move. Suburban obviously moved. So I got this car and that car and my truck, and there was also a forklift here that got hit. So that's basically what happened. And then a little bit later, the cops rolled up along with an ambulance. I got out of the truck just like, you know, like I can't believe this just happened. Like if he hadn't grabbed my wheel, that wouldn't have happened. I was, driving along just fine. I'd hit other snowy patches and been just fine. And, he had to do this, so I was pretty upset with that. My door wouldn't open because the sub box completely, like, bowed out my side of the cab. Like, if you look at it, it just bowed it right out. So I had to, like, pound on my door to get it open. And then I rolled my window down all the way because I knew the cops would be coming. I picked up the tint off the other side. And then I asked my buddy if he was alright. He's like, oh, I can't breathe and stuff. And then he finally caught his breath and got out. I mean, he saw the truck. He was sitting where it got, like, completely destroyed. So then the guy comes out and he's like, oh my gosh. And I was like, I'm so sorry about your cars. And started apologizing. He's like, I don't care about my cars. Are you okay? And he was just like, he realized that it was an accident. I didn't do it on purpose. He didn't care about his cars. All he cared about is that both of us walked away from it. And, we got checked out in the ambulance and all that fun stuff. And then the cop wrote me a ticket for improper lane change, which, like, I was sideways. I didn't know which signal to put on. Sorry. I just wanted to talk about some of the factors that played into keeping me and my buddy alive. So first off, the body lift. Because of the way the body lift was done, the bolts were small enough that they could bend and break off, and the whole cab just kind of fell over. And, well, it was actually pushed, it didn't really fall, but it just folded over. So it was kind of like a breakaway cab, because my truck doesn't have side airbags, so there was no safety there. And it just, I think that helped a lot keeping us safe. Also the sub box, you can see that was pretty jammed in there after the crash. I actually got it all out. And the snowy driveway, the guy's driveway was just covered in packed snow. So when I slid into his driveway, if he had salted it, the Suburban wouldn't have given as much as it did and spun around. So it would have, more of the impact would have been on us instead of, like those things where you take the ball and you pick one up and drop it and it kind of goes back and forth. So instead of us taking the full blow of all that motion, it kind of passed it on to the Suburban, spun that around and passed it on to the Buick. That's where it ended. Another factor that I think had probably the biggest part in this was, there was obviously someone there watching out for us. I don't know what you believe. I go to church. I believe in God, and I definitely believe that, He was there, and He helped protect us. Because I mean, even me being where I was, 50 miles an hour to a dead stop, your neck and everything is gonna, your whole body's just gonna get discombobulated, and I was barely sore at all. And so I think he had a big part of it. And even like, he has a plan for everything. So back in June, when I was deciding to put the body lift in, he knew that in January I was going to crash it and that would help save us. Same thing with the sub box, And so that was another big factor, I think, that helped save us. Alright, so now this is like the best part, like, I've been hanging out with this kid for a while now, and he just always does something stupid, and just something like this, and he never apologized to me that night. The most apology I got was, oops, huh, and like, it's like, really, dude, you just wrecked my truck. This is, it was like a brand new truck. It didn't even hit 50,000 miles. It had 46,000 miles on it, and it just got totaled. I put a lot of work into it, and, now it's all gone. So then, I don't know why my dad felt the need to find out his story. I think he felt like, I was taking all the heat for this accident, and he was just, walking away sore. So he went up to their house and to talk to him and his dad, and he made up this whole story. Apparently what happened was, we were driving down the road. He was in the passenger seat on his phone picking music or something, and he looked up. I was halfway across the yellow lines. He looked over at me, and I was sitting there on my phone, texting or something. He didn't exactly say what I was doing on my phone, but he said I was on my phone. So he reached over to steady the wheel, and I felt the truck move, so I grabbed the wheel and we just spun out of control and crashed. So, like, first of all, I don't text and drive. It's a stupid thing to do. If you do it, you should stop, because it's like you're supposed to be watching the road. You do one thing at a time. Some people think they're good at multitasking, but a lot of people die from people texting and driving. It can wait. You can't text when you're dead. It can wait. My phone was in my pocket. I didn't even have it hooked up to the stereo. He didn't have his phone hooked up to the stereo. If I was on my phone, it would have been on the floor. The case probably would have fallen off, and it probably, would have been a lot more damaged. But I got out of the truck and I called my dad right afterwards, and it was in my pocket. And another thing is, if you look over and your buddy's on the phone texting, you don't reach over and grab the wheel. They're in control of the car. You're the passenger. You can't backseat drive. You can't passenger seat drive. You say, "Oh, hey, bud, watch the road. You're weaving a little." You don't touch the wheel. That's just like one of the dumbest things you can do. You don't have control of the brake. You don't have control of the gas. You don't. So I went on to AT&T.com. Let me see a camera. And it's amazing. You can look up your history. Like I could send a text message right now, and in a couple minutes look, and it would be there. So it happened on the 21st, and I called my dad at 10:59. So it happened probably at 10:55, because I called him just a couple minutes after it happened, and it's only about a 7-minute drive from McDonald's to there. So it was, you can see 11/21 is the date. 9:38 p.m. was the last text message, and both of these last two are received. The next message I got was at 11:15, which was from Facebook, someone updating their status, and those are the only two messages on my phone. And those two are both received. So, like, at least if you're going to make up a story, make it something that I can't go home and look up. Oh, and I got the data here too. This is, my data right here, 21st. I was only on the internet 3 times, 7:38 p.m., 5:27 p.m., and 12:46 p.m. So make up a story that, I can't go home and just print this off. It's from AT&T.com. So yeah, the insurance company came, assessed it, totaled it. It still runs. I started it, and it runs. I think there's some gears on the transmission, but here's like the transfer case shifter, and here's like the regular shifter. This is how they're supposed to be. This is how they are. I got in there and like yanked on this one, got it up enough to like move it, but I don't think I can get it into first gear still. I got it into like one of the gears and it died. Yeah, I let the clutch out a little bit, but so if you know anything about insurance, after they total it, the vehicle is theirs. You sign the title over to them and they take everything. But they said I'm allowed to keep my bumpers, so I took off the front and back one, and I'm allowed to keep the tires and rims, but I have to find tires and rims to put on it for them to take it, because that depletes the scrap value, so they would give us less in return. So I have 2 rims. I'm looking for tires for those, and I have to find 2 other rims and tires. And I took out my toolbox, my subs. They said I could take my whole stereo, so anything that I did to the truck I took out, and sign the title over to them and start all over again. But I like, a lot of people comment and they're like, oh, sucks you put all that work into it and now it's all gone. you know, the work is gone. All the stuff that, you know, I spent hours working on that truck, you know, they're not all gone. Most of it's still good, but like, I gained experience out of it, you know. Now I know how to do this faster and more efficient. I know how to run my zero gauge from the battery to where I want my amp faster. I know that, you know, if you pull up the carpet, there's channels under them. I know there's grommets, all that stuff. You know, how to take the dash apart. I've gained a lot of experience from working on that truck, and now whatever I get next, you know, I'll be able to do it better, faster, cleaner. You know, so I'm not mad that I lost all that work. It's almost like a new beginning. You know, I can go out, pick out a new car, and start all over again. You know, because there were things that, you know, I screwed up on that and did this or that wrong, ended up with a hole in my dash where I didn't want it, and put a switch where I didn't want it, and cut the hole too big or whatever, you know. So now it's like I know how to do it. So I got my amp out. I didn't put any video of it in. I might put a little bit in the end. The amp did not get smashed at all. It's like perfect. There's a plastic piece on front that got scratched a little bit, but other than that, it's perfect. I haven't opened it up yet. I'm gonna open it up and look around. I think it's alright, which would be cool. My sub didn't get hurt at all. The only thing that I really lost was the neon tube that got smashed, and the way the whole cab shifted, the train horns underneath got like pushed over into my drive shaft, and it snapped off one of them. But they still work, and it sounds a little cool because there's like one like real high pitched one now because there's no trumpet on it. So, you know, I'll still put them on my new car. Whatever. You know, it's cool. So now I just gotta find a new car. I mean, if you have any ideas, I want to get a truck again because I like the 4-wheel drive. We got property, you know, and you can't really get there in a little car. And if it gets better than 9 miles to the gallon, I'm down, because that's what my truck was getting. So I've been looking a little on the Craigslist and the eBay, but gotta go out shopping. Yeah, there's just like one more thing that I wanted to get off my mind. Like, yeah, this friend of mine is almost 22 years old, you know, and it's like, you can't lie your way through life. Eventually, you will get found out, you know. It's not that hard to find out the truth. You know, you can lie all you want, but it's not going to get you anywhere in life, you know. Now, I'm probably never going to hang out with him again. I haven't answered his text. He texted me the other day, "Hey, I'm at McDonald's, ha ha ha." Like it was a joke, no. Oh, ha, yeah, let me go buy a new car, let's go crash it. That'll be fun.